Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I put out a video. I've been really busy. There was a wedding in the family, and also I was not in the right state of mind to record videos. I don't know why, but that doesn't mean I didn't read books. I read a lot. In fact, I was focusing on actually improving my reading pace during this whole break that I took from booktube, and actually it worked. I have repeatedly said this in my channel that I generally am a very slow-paced reader, and I wanted to put in some effort and change that. So in fact that really worked. I read much faster than I usually do. I realized that it just takes a little bit of conscious effort from my side, and until it becomes a habit. So that's what I was focusing mainly on, and also I was trying to figure out a way to put out meaningful videos out to you. That's why altogether there was a break of 3 weeks, I think, since I did my last video. But here I am doing another interesting video, which is what is it? End of the year book tag. I watched a lot of booktubers doing this. I love watching this video, so I thought this was the right comeback video for me. And here I am doing the end of the year book tag. There are 6 prompts in this tag. The first one is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I have an interesting pick for that, and that is Fourth Wing. And this is a book by Rebecca Yarros, and I think it's a TikTok favorite, and that's how I discovered this book. I looked up in Goodreads and it had got a lot of reviews, but at the same time this is an interesting book because a lot of booktubers do not like this book. Booktubers whom I really respect and follow, whose word I really take seriously, they have really bashed this book. So in fact started this book. As you can see, there are some tabs that I've already made. So how many pages did I read? I read 85 pages in this book, and somehow I couldn't get into the groove of this book yet. Somehow I felt the writing was too simplistic. I made a lot of notes saying that how can somebody who is supposedly writing kind of dark academia / fantasy can use such basic language. I just couldn't vibe with this, so I didn't DNF it. I definitely want to finish this just to see what the hype is about, but sometime this year, if I do get time, this is a book that I want to finish reading. But apart from all that, can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful this book is? Next one. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Now, I don't know if this is an autumnal book or what the hell it is, but it's definitely a favorite. It is a classic. This book has carved its own niche into the heart of every book lover who has ever read this. And this book is considered kind of the father or mother of dark academia, and I'm talking about Donna Tartt's The Secret History. I really want to read this book this year for sure, and I'm planning for first week of December. I have watched some interviews of Donna Tartt, and I'm so impressed by how amazingly intelligent she comes across as. And I have also watched and read many spoiler-free reviews of this book, and I want to get into the hype wagon. That's the answer to the second prompt. Third prompt is there a new release you're still waiting for? Now this is a tricky question because the new release that I'm waiting for really actually comes out only in the first quarter or beginning of the second quarter of next year, and that is Song of Mysteries by Janny Wurst, which is the concluding book in the epic fantasy series Wars of Light and Shadow. Other than that, I do not have a book that I'm looking forward to which is releasing this year. In fact, there are a couple of books that I was looking forward to reading which are already available. I think most of them are released in September. September. One of them is a book by Nita Prose, which is the second book in the Molly Maid series, because I really loved the first book, The Maid, and it was kind of very different kind of a thriller that I read, and I enjoyed reading it. So that's another book that I'm looking forward to. And another book that released this year that I want to read is The Labyrinth's Heart by M.A. Carrick, which is the third and the final installment in the Rook and Rose trilogy. I'm buddy reading this book along with Charles from Bookish Charles channel. We have set a date of December 10th to start this series. So nothing that is going to release, but these are some of the new releases that I have my eyes on. What are the 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? So one is definitely Labyrinth's Heart that I mentioned now. The second is Secret History, which I've already mentioned that I really want to read. The other one is this one, The Adventures of Amina El-Sirafi. Now, it's kind of a cover buy for me because I was impressed by the cover, how beautiful it is, and there is this map which is so colorful and unique in that way. I really want to read this because I am a huge fan of S.A. Chakrabarti. I love her writing. I really loved her Devabad series, and I still have to read the last book in the Devabad series. I read the synopsis and it's definitely up my alley. I really love a good Middle Eastern based fantasy. I think this is a standalone. Even if it's not a standalone, I definitely want to read this because it's got everything, like the smuggler, pirate, sorcerer, sea beast husband, and jinns. So what more do you need in a proper Middle Eastern fantasy or Arabic fantasy? I love reading her book and how imaginative she is. The next prompt is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Yes, there's a book that I've been wanting to read since a long time, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, why I'm picking this book for this prompt especially is because I have already read Madeline Miller's Circe, which I really did not like at all. Hot take, but I truly, true to my heart, I really did not enjoy it. I did enjoy the first quarter of the book, and after that it was just downhill. I couldn't just vibe with the Madeline Miller's writing. Felt there's not much movement of the plot at all. I think I DNF'd it. DNF'd it, yes. Around 75% into the book, so I didn't even finish the book. But at the same time, I have heard a lot of book lovers and occasional readers praising about this book, The Song of Achilles, and it's a small book, and I thought that maybe I should give a Madeline Miller another chance and read this book, because so many people whom I really respect as book reviewers and booktubers really have praised, this book. Who knows, this might turn into one of my favorites of this year. Next prompt and the last one. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? So, no. That's the straight answer. I am planning to do that in the last couple of weeks of December, but I will not make any elaborate plans as such. There will be a general outline because I have realized that I do better when it's every month I pick up books that interest me, like kind of mood reading, and then also just commit to my buddy reads and readathons, etc. So that's my plan for next year. I do not want to make a hard and fast TBR for the entire year already, because you don't know how the year is going to be. But there are some series that I have already started that I want to continue, and definitely I want to continue with my Wheel of Time reading. Currently I'm reading Fires of Heaven, and definitely I want to also continue with my Wars of Light and Shadow journey. I have another 2 books to go, one of which is yet to release. I want to continue the First Law series. I have read only The Blade itself. I've read only the first book. I want to continue that for sure, and I want to pick up these standalones from Abercrombie as well. And I want to definitely restart my One Piece reading as well, and do weekly I don't know, read along or dissection of what I have read. That's my plan with One Piece. I also want to start off the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. These are small books. I think I can squeeze them in my TBR easily. So that's another reason I want to pick that series. Really love urban fantasy. In fact, I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. So, so I really want to do Dresden Files. And then, of course, I read the first book in the Witcher series, and I want to continue that as well. But I don't know how far I will get with that. The first book is a collection of short stories. Though I enjoyed it a lot because these are just disconnected small short stories. I wasn't pulled into the world that much, but I still want to continue with the book series and see how it goes with me. Then lastly, I definitely want to read the Three Body Problem series. I think it's called something else, but let me call it Three Body Problem series. I have already read Three Body Problem and I really enjoyed it, but I listened to it on audiobook, so I want to read that book. So I do have the physical copy, so I will be rereading that on physical copy because I know it's like it can become a little bit dense, and I felt that while I was listening to it many a times. So I want to reread that as a physical book and continue with the other two books in the series because I know that they're brilliant, and because I have already read the Three Body Problem, I know that it's definitely up my alley. I might be doing immersive reading because I really liked the narration as well. It was really good, and it will help me with all the names because I'm not that familiar with Chinese culture, etc. So the names were a little bit difficult to keep track of. So I think the immersive reading experience will really help me with that. So this is my rough outline plan of what I'm planning to read, what I'm definitely planning to read in 2024, but this is not a hard and fast rule. If there are more interesting releases or more interesting books that I'm discovering, I might just push some of these away or out, but yeah, you have an idea what I am aiming for in 2024. So if you love Wheel of Time, if you love One Piece, if you love Wars of Light and Shadow, if you generally love science fiction and fantasy, you know that you are going to get exciting content from me. So that was the end of the year book tag. That's it, guys. Thanks for listening, and this is Angie signing off. I'll be back before you know it. Until then, keep reading.